Hi, Sag. Welcome to part 2 of your reading. Hi, Patreon. Hello, Vimeo. Okay. I was supposed to do the second part of this reading 2 hours ago. And then I fell down a fucking rabbit hole. Oh my God. And it's about a Sag. It's about Britney Spears. And then I don't know why. It's just the strangest thing. I don't even know why I'm about to tell you guys this. But I don't really get scared of normal things that you're supposed to be afraid of. I get scared of like creepy things, like things that aren't necessarily horrifying, just really unsettling. Instead of unsettling me, that stuff really scares me. And I just get so creeped out and cold. And I don't know, physically I start getting really uncomfortable. Why am I telling you this? Because excuse me. Because I have just been down a TikTok rabbit hole about Britney Spears and how she's still not free and how the guy that she's married to is like part of the conservatorship and how there's no pictures of her except in her house. Oh my God, there's so many things. Oh my God, there's so many things. I'm so freaked out. But I've decided I'm going to start smoking in the part 2s because, you know, whatever, fuck it. But here's the really, here's the tie-in, okay? Excuse me, one second. Here's the tie-in. You feel frustrated, and I understand, because you are standing on, you're standing at a crossroads, and the crossroads, it's more, you know what it is? It's a horse running towards a jump. And at some point, if you're riding a horse that needs to jump over a fence or just over, if you are on a horse that has to jump, there is a moment when you know that you're going to fall or you're going to hit the fence because the horse isn't ready soon enough before the jump that you can feel from the timing of being on the horse that's it. Like the horse is going to hit the fence or you're going to fly off. Something is about to happen because it missed its mark. It missed its timing. So again, going back to this idea of being out of step, right? So now at the end of November, you have this feeling of being extremely out of step, but here you are hurtling, really quickly hurtling towards a jump. Now you're either going to jump, which means you got to get on the, on beat, or you're going to crash into this fence. Because you've worked up so much energy that you need to do something with the frustration, the drawbacks, the bad luck, all the things that are just making you look around like, is this me? Is this my life? Is this Gemini Sag axis has been going through such a confusing past 10 years because everything that we thought was a certain way about our life that we took for granted, like I'm this, those people who are like, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of person. We knew exactly what type of person we were. But then the last 10 years has done everything it possibly could, everything in its power to prove to us that we were nothing like that person. But here we are now at the end of November being transplanted back into that old mindset, that old reality where our confidence, our luck, our power was hitting, okay? Now, if that's the case, then of course you've got to jump. Of course this let's say it's solitude, let's say it's a loss of a job, loss of finances, whatever it is that's pushed you into a place of feeling like, oh my God, I'm by myself and I need to do something different or else I'm not going to survive like this. Whatever brought you to that point, be grateful for that because it's brought you to the precipice where now you understand what your challenge is. Either now you have to work up the gumption and take a dive off of this cliff and hope you float, right? or you crash into something and you don't get past this level of doubt. And that's what it is. It's a test. It's a test of your self-esteem. It's easy to feel good and be charming and be on top of the world when you get everything you want and everything goes your way and you always have good luck and you're good looking and charming and smart and you could talk to anybody. And like, it's easy to be happy then. It's easy to be the quintessential Sag. It's easy to have everybody love you. It's easy to wake up every day in a good mood because everything's going your way. But those few times in life, like the past 6 months, where things do not go your way, in fact, it feels very much so like things are purposefully not going your way. Again, this idea of feeling persecuted, this idea of feeling singled out, like, why am I being punished for something I don't understand? All of this, okay? That feeling can lead you to settle for things that are close enough, good for now, fine enough for now. No, don't do that. Whatever you end up settling for now could take years to undo because you don't really want that job. You don't really want that person. You don't really want that friendship. You don't really want this night out. You're just going along with it because you know, it's fine, whatever. It's good enough. It's close enough. I'm happy enough. This settling will have your head spinning because as soon as you settle, your mind is going to show you what you could have. Your mind is going to start throwing up all the things that you don't have by settling. Of course, it's natural. That's how we work. So immediately, I mean, your happiness will not be long-lived. It'll be very short-lived because immediately you'll start to focus on the reasons why you're settling. And those will start to eat at you, and those will start to become resentments within you against yourself. You put me in the middle of this. Why would you put me in the middle of something with someone that I have to tolerate? Okay, so wherever in your life that you're feeling that you need to compromise right now, that you need to, take one for the team, don't do it. Don't do it. There's a few things you absolutely should not do in November. One of them is settling, and the other one is lying to a water sign. For some reason, if you have got it in your head that you can get away with lying to a water sign, it looks so bad. This will turn into the kind of pain, or can turn into the kind of pain that takes years and years to get over. Because you'll be able to feel and see how you're in the wrong, right? So it's one thing to be dishonest. It's another thing to be caught. It's another thing to be caught being dishonest by somebody who genuinely loves you, but you don't realize they genuinely love you until they don't love you anymore. Does that sound like your entire dating life? Just asking. Now, when it comes to feeling unsafe, when it comes to the real reasons for being out of step, you'll find that these two things are very related, and you have the opportunity with this gorgeous eclipse coming up to get all this information out. It's also a great time, if you are dealing with a water sign, to tell them the truth, all the truth, all the truth. They will be self-righteous. They will be in the right. They will be upset. You will be in the wrong. You will apologize, but you can salvage things. If what you're most worried about right now is money, and obviously money is a huge concern, not just for you, but for everyone, right? The global economy is falling to shit. We have people funneling money out of countries and giving it to other, like, it's just crazy, the cash grab that's going on right now, the money grab, the criminality, it's insane. And you, much like most everyone in the world, is feeling the squeeze of that. Now, the difference here, excuse me, the difference here is really interesting. It's the same thing that I said before. It's one thing for this to be your baseline, or let's be nicer, for this to be your baseline. Growing up, being in school, getting out there in the world, this is your baseline. Things are not wonderful, but, they're not fucking horrible. Now, this is your baseline, and then November The past 6 months lead you to a tower moment in November where you either have to move, give up an apartment, move in with somebody else, make some sort of financial concession when it comes to living situation. If you got to go from here to here, yeah, that sucks. But, you're strong, you're resilient, you're powerful, you're fiery, you'll be fine. But if you got to go from here to here, excuse me. Ooh, that's the kind of descent that can make you resentful. It can make you angry. It can add a level of bite and resentment and sadness that will only attract more of this. So the most dangerous part about this energy, and when I say this energy, I'm also talking about the self-pity. I'm talking about the anger. I'm talking about wanting to feel persecuted by some externality out there and saying, why is this happening to me? When you engage in this, you become so attractive to this energy. Whatever energy you dive into head first without logic, listen to me. Whatever energy you dive into head first without logic and just believe, it's much easier to believe negative things because we see so many negative things happen that we take it as an eventuality, right? Excuse me. There's dog hair in the apartment. Don't ask. Oh, someone who's been around dogs has been in this apartment. It's really irritating because I'm very allergic. It's not the smoking, it's the dogs. But thank you for thinking of me. So, when you have to go from living the life to being thrown upside down out of the tower, yeah, it's hard not to take it personal. It's hard not to think that something terrible is happening to you. It's hard to remember that being tested is a sign of love. Being tested is a way to see, what did you learn? What have you not learned? What have you yet to learn? Being tested is a way to lovingly push you to the edge to show you that you can walk off of it and survive, that you can walk off of it and thrive. How are you ever going to know the limits of your power if your power is not tested, if your way is not beset with obstacles? Remember, it takes Mr. Glass blowing up that train to find that unbreakable guy. The unbreakable guy doesn't know he's unbreakable. It takes something extremely negative, something arbitrary, something that seems like it just came out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with this guy. But it took this calamity to expose the strength that had always been there, but it had never been put in the right context. Right? So, excuse me. When your strength, your vibrancy, your luck, your generosity, when they're not put in the right context, when you are not seeing that calamity, that test, as an invitation to get closer to the divine, if you cannot make the connection in your head that every time something bad happens to you, some tragedy, some financial setback, some emotional pain, if you cannot associate those moments in your life with an invitation from the divine to get closer to it and to leave this world of material and to detach from it, if you cannot see each one of these obstacles as another invitation from the beloved to detach from this material world, then you will always be unhappy, because the world is always going to give you one more reason for why you shouldn't be enjoying this. There's always going to be one more thing that you should do first before you can truly be happy, before you can allow yourself to be happy. Don't do that to yourself. I know it's difficult to conflate the idea of really terrible, difficult, stressful things happening in your life. I know it's very difficult to conflate that with a creator, a divine plan, the loving universe that's birthed you. I know it's really difficult to merge those two ideas and to start and begin to see even the worst of things as an invitation to come closer instead of running further away. It is life-changing. And just by the way, it's a huge magnet for not just money, but also for love and for good fucking luck. Once you refuse to play the 0 and 1s game of duality that this hologram relies upon, once you step back high priestess style behind the black and white pillars, and you start to see not that everything is black and white and so everything should be inclusive. Instead, you start to see that there is only the divine. There is only the creation. That is only within the material of the 0s and 1s and black and white that we even think that there is a separation between everything and the divine. The true source, the true nature, the true non-duality, when we step back from this particular technological construct, is that everything is a part of everything else. Therefore, we are divine. You see, we come here to immerse ourselves in the tragic, in the lover's moment, in the wheel of fortune, in the tower. We come here to experience these things, but for a moment we have to forget the fullness of what we are to be able to sink into this duality and be able to survive. We have to survive the mechanism to be able to glean the lessons and glean the jewels from this experience. First, you have to actually fucking survive it. But when we pull back while still immersed in this game, when we pull ourselves back consciously, not because we're asleep, not because we're meditating, not because we're you are looking at everything in your life, and as a conscious person who's here, not somewhere else, not dealing with this in any other way, not going somewhere in your head, but here in this moment, in the face of your calamities, in the face of your dangers, in the face of your fears, in the face of your setbacks, if you're able to say, this is another opportunity for me to get closer to that which has created me, that creation will respond like a current that will not move until its pathway in the next current is open, like the cells that will not open until another cell releases. This is the same thing. When you decide within the dual to live in the mindset of the non-dual, magic. And it's free-flowing. It's so abundant. There's no end to it. This thing that's been bothering you for so long, the finite nature of things, that it's so against Sagittarius nature, right? The finality of things. That door gets busted down, and you feel the infinite abundance, the infinite intelligence, the infinite goodwill, the infinite compassion, and you feel better. And then your motherfucking season's gonna start. Oh my God, we're gonna have so much fun in your season. There's nothing better than Sag season. I love Sag season. I love you. I'll see you in Sagittarius mid-November on Patreon, new shuffle.